And we want to talk about something we've never really talked about in Rebi'i. We know that this week's Parsha is a very sobering one. Unfortunately, the cousin of Moshe Rabbeinu, which was very wealthy, but was not too wise, he rebelled against Moshe, kind of made an internal civil war. And then 250 of the head of the Jewish Supreme Court, Rosh Sanhedrin from Shevet Reuven, passed away. Their basic problem was with Aharon, the high priest, and the older brother of Moshe. They said, Moshe, you're corrupt. God did not say Aharon should be the Kohen Gadol. You made that up from your own heart. So then God said, okay, we'll make a test. 250 gang. You gang of 250 people that all want to become Kohen Gadol. All of you bring Ketoret on a pan, and Aharon will also bring. The one that fire from heaven comes, that's going to be and burns his Ketoret, which means a heavenly fire is going to come. That shows that's the one that God picked. He's Kadosh. He's the Holy One. Guess what? These 250 imposters, instead of the fire that came from heaven, instead of burning their Ketoret, it burned them. The 250 people died. Aaron HaKohen, obviously, since he was the king of the Kohen HaGadol Me'echav, what happened? His Ketoret, Mored Qabul Bud. His Ketoret was accepted by God, but what happened at Revi'i is a sad story. The Jews came to Moshe and said, it says it says that they always were dying, and the Ketoret, Rashi brings, they were saying Lashon Hara again about the Ketoret. They said, whoever does want to touch the Ketoret, it's like the poison, Chas v'shalom. Sama mavet, who Rashi Zal brings. Because who died from Ketoret? Nadav and Avihu. Do not forget, Nadav and Avihu were the two holiest Jews after Moshe and Aaron. When they unauthorized went inside the Kodesh Kodashim, what happened to them? They died. Again, these 250 very holy Jews, they were the head of the Supreme Court, these 250 gang. They also died. So the Jews started saying, what? The Ketoret only brings bad bachti. It only brings problems and trouble. Then God said, oh, you're saying my korban, my holy service is bringing what? Death? He brought a magefa, like something like corona. And then the people started dying. So what did Aharon do? It says in Rebi'i Yud Bet, Vayikach Aharon kasher diber Moshe. Moshe said, quickly go take the Ketoret in between the people that are living and dying. And Aharon brought the Ketoret. And it says, and the Magefa stopped. So the Jews learned that the Ketoret is not the problem. The people. If the children of Aharon go inside the Holy of Holies without authorization, right? They're the problem. Or these 250 people gang, which were part of Korach's rebellion, coup d'etat, versus Moshe, they're the problem. But the Ketoret in this Rebi'i, we read, it stopped the corona. It stopped like the pandemic. A lot of the people were dying. The second Aharon brought the Ketoret. So this is, people, I'm very lucky to have some God bless his soul, Mr. Zargari. This is my father of blessed memories, Ketoret, one of my members that also just passed away. He so beautifully framed it for me. And may God bless his soul. Rachamim ben Yosef Moshe. And we know that we are so lucky, us Persian Jews, that we have Rabbi Pinchas Zabichi has written a 2-volume, more than 500 pages about what?
Ketoret.
The Ketoret. This Ketoret is like a world. It's an encyclopedia of depth, because there is, and I want to, this video, we're going to go a little bit different. In this synagogue, Baruch Hashem, our members are very into Ketoret. We have one hanging above my head where I sit over here. We have another Ketoret over here by where we keep the Chumashim. The Ketoret is, the Zohar says that the Ketoret is not a regular random korban, but rather the Ketoret is the most precious. You know, every day they bring korban tamid, and by us reading about it, it's neshalema parim sefatenu. But out of all the korbanot, korban chatat, korban asham, korban olah, korban tamid, korban pesach, which one is the holiest and most special? Ketoret. That's why the custom became, as you see over here, that they write it on a cloth, they write it on a parchment paper, similar to the Torah, or tefillin or mezuzah, because Rav Chaim Filaji says that it brings, when you read it from the cloth, you have more kavanah, and no money, no honey. Like you're complaining that to get married in today's world, you need what? A lot of money. So by reading the Ketoret, we just had in the Daf Yomi, no Kohen was allowed to do the Ketoret twice because they wanted to spread the wealth. They wanted to give a chance to every Kohen to bring it so all of them become wealthy. Now, we want to come here and explain the Zohar. We see in this week's Parsha that when Aaron brought the Ketoret, it stopped. That's why Rabbi Kiva Eger, right, when there was a pandemic a few hundred years ago, he said all the Ashkenazi Jews are reading Ketoret, even though they don't really read Ketoret every day. And that's why the Gedolim, also the Agudat Yisrael, when the corona vaccine came out, they said everybody should read the Ketoret very carefully because it takes away all diseases, all problems. Well, you have these 2 volumes of the book Mizav U'Mapaz that is talking about this unbelievable secrets and halachot of Ketoret, over 500 pages. But we're coming to explain here, why is the Ketoret so special? So I saw the Ish Matzliach brings it in his Sidur, the Zohar. The Zohar says if you knew how special it was reading the Ketoret, that's why the Ben Ish Chai says you have to count it on your fingers. Because you have to say Hasori, Vahasiporen. Because if you miss one by mistake, Chayav Mitah. Im Chisar Echad Mikol Samamaneha. If God forbid you don't read it the right way and you're spaced out, you read it Dar Bedagun, you read it the wrong way, it's Chayav Mitah. But why is the Ketoret so special that Aharon, out of all the Korbanot, he brought the Ketoret? Out of all the special things that we read, no other part of Tefillah do we put it on a special leather. Why is the Ketoret, the Zohar says, is the most holy of all our Korbanot, and it brings wealth. So I saw a pshat, I believe the Rosh Hashiva Zatzal, which is your side, is coming up, Rav Ruderman, and the Mefarshim on the Zohar say, because the Ketoret, what does it do? And the simplistic answer is 11 spices like cinnamon, it makes kondor, it makes the whole Bet HaMikdash, and for that part, the whole Jerusalem smelled beautiful, like a perfume. It says, we learned in the Daf Yomi, in the Gemara, Yuma, that even to Yericho, the goats there would sneeze from the beautiful spice. It was this miraculous perfume to make everywhere smell good. Now, why is this God's most favorite offering out of all the different dozens of korbanot? Because the Mefarshim say, Tov Shem Mishem and Tov, the Yom HaMavid Miyom Ivado. A good name is better than the best spice. Because the best spice can only go a few 100 feet. But if you have a good name, somebody on the other side of the world is going to say, Yishtabach Shemo. Chazak Baruch. This guy, this Saddiq, he's a great, great man. So a good name, it goes much all around the world. Even after the guy dies, like my father of blessed memory. We had a campaign where we're giving sisit So somebody in the shul said, your dad beat you to it. Your father gave me a sisit, a very expensive wool one. So all the time, Baruch Hashem, I have the zechut. People talk such good things about my father. Your father did this chesed for me. He did that. He helped build that yeshiva. He built that kollel. A good name is much more precious than platinum and diamonds. The Ketoret is teaching us. Every time we say Ketoret, we have to have kavanah. Am I like Ketoret? Do I have what? A good name? Or if chas v'shalom, what's the opposite of Ketoret? Chilul Hashem. Because they say this guy has a bad name. His name, Ketoret, everybody wants to run to it. Because they want to. So it says, what the musar, the practical idea of Ketoret is that we human beings are actions. Never forget, actions speak greater than words. Talk is cheap. But if you, and the best example of this in my life is like my father, if you do chesed, unlimited kindness to people, and you're selfless, that's Ketoret. Because your actions are like spreading good and perfume, and everybody is Kiddush Hashem. Everybody says, wow. And it says, the Ketoret, if you miss one of the spices, Chayav Mita. So the Talmud Yerushalmi says, actually, one of the spices smells bad. What does this teach us? It teaches us that there's every type of Jew. The different spices of Ketoret says, my daughter's getting married in a few days. And it's very important in life, we Jews always need to tolerate each other, love each other. Don't say, oh, this guy's Ashkenazi. He's not like me. I hate him. This guy is Esbahoni. This guy's this guy's not like me. It says the Ketoret has 11 different what? Spices that smell 11 different ways. This is a symbolization that there's 11 type of person. Somebody's lazy. Somebody's mad. Does that mean just because the guy's lazy, you should hate him and not talk to him? And say, I don't want to look at his ugly? No. It says, if the Rosh Yeshiva Zatzal, Rav Ruderman said, the Yerushalmi says, even if one of these spices, the one that smells bad, together it smells good, but that spice by itself, it smells bad. Even that Jew that's Rasha, we still need to love him. You know why? Because the Tanya says we need to only hate. His neshama is pure. Elohai neshama shenatata bi. What's corrupting him? Why is he corrupt? It's his Yetzer Hara. You should never hate any Jew. You only have to hate which part of him? No, we have to only be disgusted not by the Jew, by his action. But him, he's a neshama, he's a spark of God, he's godly. And if we're able to the Jews right now, if God says, if there's 11 different type of people, and everybody is ba'ahava, everybody is mixed together, daka mina daka, we don't leave anybody out of our minyan. We don't say, oh, you're not, I don't want you in my house. We say everybody is always, I respect everybody. And all my action is Kiddush Hashem. Like the Tov Shem, Hashem says, you're Ketoret, I give you wealth. I take away all the problem. I take away Corona. I take away all the pandemic. And it's much, much more deeper ideas here. Just know, the Zohar says that when you read the Ketoret, and it's a tragedy. My father, of blessed memory, used to always yell this every week in shul. He said people at the end of the tefillah, they start talking. En kelokenu, they want to leave. We know Aleinu Leshabeach is not tefillat haderech. Either is the Ketoret. The Ketoret is the most special. The Zohar says if you knew how holy it is you would count it like you count platinum and diamond. Right. Because it brings so much beracha. It brings unlimited beracha. Because when we say the Ketoret, you and I become like the Kohen Gadol. Neshalema parim sefatenu. Now that we don't, so may Hashem help us. Amen. Not only to say the Ketoret, but may our actions and honorable, angelic integrity and actions be like the Ketoret. And God should bless all of us, first of all, with health. The Ketoret has so many different segulot to bring us, first of all, peace of mind, mental health, and all the blessings of the Torah. Amen.